Hello, today's saint is Saint Rose Philippine Duchesne. She was born in 1769 in Grenoble, France, of a family that was among the new rich. Philippine learned political skills from her father and a love of the poor from her mother. And the dominant feature of her temperament was a strong and dauntless will, which became the material and the battlefield of her holiness. She entered the convent at 19 without telling her parents, and remained despite their opposition. As the French Revolution broke, the convent was closed and she began taking care of the poor and sick, opened a school for street children, and risked her life helping priests in the underground. When the situation cooled, she personally rented her old convent, now a shambles, and tried to revive its religious life. But the spirit was gone, and soon there were only 4 nuns left. So they joined the Society of the Sacred Heart, whose young superior, St. Madeleine Sophie Barra, would be her lifelong friend. In a short time, Philippine was a superior and a supervisor of the novitiate and a school. But her ambition, since hearing tales of missionary work in Louisiana as a little girl, was to go to America and work among the Native Americans. At 49, she thought this would be her work, and with 4 nuns she spent 11 weeks at sea en route to New Orleans and 7 weeks more on the Mississippi to St. Louis. There she met one of the many disappointments in her life. The bishop had no place for them to live and work among the Native Americans. Instead, he sent her to what she sadly called the remotest village in the US, St. Charles, Missouri. With characteristic drive and courage, she founded the first free school for girls west of the Mississippi. It was a mistake. Though she was as hardy as any of the pioneer women in the wagons rolling west, cold and hunger drove them out to Florissant, Missouri, where she founded the first Catholic Native American school. Her biographer wrote, "In her first decade in America, Mother Duchesne suffered practically every hardship the frontier had to offer, except the threat of Indian massacre. Poor lodging, shortages of food, drinking water, fuel and money, forest fires and blazing chimneys, the vagaries of the Missouri climate, cramped living quarters and the privation of all privacy, and the crude manners of children reared in rough surroundings, and only with the slightest training in courtesy." Finally, at 72, in poor health and retired, she got her lifelong wish. A mission was founded at Sugar Creek, Kansas, among the Native Americans, and she was taken along. Though she could not learn their language, they soon named her Woman Who Prays Always. While others taught, she prayed. Legend has it that Native American children sneaked behind her as she knelt and sprinkled bits of paper on her habit, and came back hours later to find them undisturbed. She died in 1852 at the age of 83. What can we learn about Saint Duchesne? Well, divine grace channeled her iron will and determination into humility and selflessness, and into a desire not to be made superior. Still, even saints can get involved in silly situations. In an argument with a priest over a minor change in the sanctuary, he threatened to remove her tabernacle. She patiently let herself be criticised by younger nuns for not being progressive enough, and through it all, 31 years, she hewed to the line of a dauntless love and an unshakable observance of her religious vows. She wrote, "We cultivate a very small field for Christ, but we love it, knowing that God does not require great achievements, but a heart that holds back nothing for itself. The truest crosses are those we do not choose ourselves. He who has Jesus has everything." God bless.